It's time to enter the Church of Reddit to bring about those great stories from the sub r/confessions. Let's go. I married for money. I grew up poor. I lived in a car with my mom most of my life. I never got a chance. My mom even purposely held me back from school just so she can receive child support from my bio father longer. In my late teens, I started working a minimum wage job where I met my now husband. I was initially attracted to him because he's wealthy, but my husband is 9 years older than me. I even stole money from him when we were just dating because I never thought he would see anything with me long term. He still doesn't know I've stolen the money from him. I didn't love him when I married him. The truth is I did fall in love with him slowly after we got married. I knew the only way I could have a better life was using him as a ticket to finally live above my means. My husband is a 7-figure earner. I used him to gain a college education. He put me through school. I have my BA in communication studies. I don't have any debt. I travel a bit too. I learned that I don't like traveling though. Dealing with language barriers just a lot and makes the trip extremely stressful. And after you see so many places, it's just another museum, statue, or river in just a different location. I did work after I got my degree. I worked in marketing and I didn't like it. I dabbled in other types of work, but I didn't want to work anymore, and my husband said I'd never have to work again if I didn't want to, and I loved it. You know what? No judgment. This is just basically survival, and speaks to a larger problem, which is capitalism, or worse yet, late-stage capitalism. This is really highlighted in the story when she mentioned she went to college, and underscores why the pay-for-use college system is just wrong. Had the college and or university be free, that alone would help people lift up from poverty. Don't get me wrong, this is situational bias. I'm glad she found a person, and they connected with that person, which it seems doesn't mind sharing those resources, but a lot of people don't even have access to that. I think we need to advocate for a better system than what we have. The economy is not good right now, so maybe we should look for a change or something. Getting rich off all my neighbors' laundry room use. I live in an older apartment building and our laundry room consists of 2 washers and 2 dryers. These machines are the old school add $1.25 to start type. What people don't know is the receptor that catches these quarters after the machines are started is always unlocked and you can take your quarters back anytime. Found this out a week or so ago and to date I made around $30 and done my laundry. Wow, I had no idea. You know what? Good for him. I live in a tent to eat from trash cans. So some info about me. I'm 24 female. I lived with my grandma until she passed away about 7 weeks ago. And I became homeless after that. The apartment complex wouldn't let me take over the lease and ultimately left me homeless. My mom died from an OD when I was 11 and my grandma took me in. I am able to post here because I'm currently sitting outside a library. I had a phone before I became homeless. In case people ask, homeless person has a phone. I have been trying to find a job but having dirty clothes and no money to shower with, I can only do so much when I can't shower at a truck stop. So I think that has a lot with not being hired. So far I have ate from McDonald's and Arby's outside dumpster and threw up both times. It was awful, but I just kept eating because my stomach was burning from hunger. I sleep in a tent my grandpa had in the closet and I've been sleeping in whatever I can find in a safe enough spot to put it up. Thanks for reading if you took the time. I would love any advice that I can get to make things a little easier. This was a hard one for me. I started the channel to be a little bit more relaxed. I mean, sometimes you come across a story that really gets to you. This one triggered me. In this situation, it would have been a whole lot easier if I used an AI voice, but then I wanted to be genuine, and this is part of that, I think. So yeah, I might go off in a little rant on this one, but there's a good reason why. Now, it just so happens I come from a city that is attacking their homeless, where the very privileged are attacking encampments and even setting them on fire, leaving our most vulnerable with less than nothing. And of course, social media, especially Facebook and X, exacerbate this problem. I did a video a while back called r/Facebook drama that kinda covered this, where I mentioned these specific Facebook groups, usually called the Concerned Citizens fill-in location here. These groups are already filled with absolute hate, as you can tell by the many comments that are left there. Like I said, the creepy racist uncle that uses that platform, spreading lies, myth truths, and propaganda. I mean, you already know this. And of course, it gets worse that we have dedicated YouTube channels who exploit these people who are vulnerable, such as Tyler Oliveira, who is actually a washed-up prankster, who then tries to call himself an investigatory journalist. Shout out to Thoughtslime for exposing this fool. And of course, this situation amplifies the major problem of the economy and capitalism itself, a system of exploitation which causes this situation of extreme poverty. While this person is absolutely struggling, we're sending billions of dollars to another country that commits the G word. And this is not a left versus right issue because both of them are guilty. Next time you see a video of something like Kensington Street, you should see the comments. It's pretty privileged and disgusting. I know, I'm getting deep, and I apologize. My heart goes out to this poor girl. The fact there's people out there that are gonna judge her because she has a cell phone and it's 2024, to me shows how disconnected people are. Thank goodness for public services like libraries. It shows how important they are to the community. I stole $1,000 in change over 2 years working at a well-known fast food chain. When I was a teenager, I got a job in a fast food restaurant. I hated making food and working in the front counter. I always asked to work the drive-thru window, taking money at the first window. This is when people were more used to paying cash. All I would do is keep a quarter or dime of almost everyone's change as I gave it back. I would put the extra quarter or dime in a special spot in the register. Once I got 5 or 10 worth of change, I would dump the change into the right spot and pocket a 10 or 5. Some nights I would leave with over $50 in cash. A lot to a teenager me. No one ever caught on, and only twice I can remember people telling me I gave them the wrong amount of change back. I would just act like a dumb kid who miscounted. No, I have a hard time believing this story. This is called skimming the registry, and you would 100% get caught. Working in the industry myself, when they close the registry, you would always come up short, which means you're gonna get busted. I used my roommate's face towel to clean up his pee, and he still hasn't noticed. I go to college in the Midwest of the United States. I live in a dorm room and have a roommate that shares the bathroom with me. He's not from the United States and seems a little nervous to talk to anybody who isn't from his home country. The first week of college, I started to notice pee on the toilet seat. No big deal, I cleaned it up. After about the 10th time, I asked him if he could stop peeing on the toilet seat, or if he does, wipe it up. He said okay and went on his day. About 3 months later, I started to notice pee all over the floor of the toilet seat and all around the toilet. It was worse than before. I used my own toilet paper and started going through it very quickly, so it was getting expensive. I ended up walking over to his side of the counter and grabbed one of his extra towels. I've been using it to clean pee for about a month now, and I've definitely noticed a change in color due to the urine. I mean, if it works. I accidentally vacuumed my friend's pet hamster and she still doesn't know. I, 17 female, has a friend who is 2 years younger than me. Let's call her Michaela. Michaela and I loved her pet hamster, Mr. Pickles. Mr. Pickles is a very cute and tiny hamster. One day earlier this week, I was asked if I could take care of Mr. Pickles since Michaela and her family will be away for a trip to Cebu. So I said yes. Big mistake. So I took Mr. Pickles from Michaela and went back to my house. I set everything for Mr. Pickles and got ready for bed that night. 2 days in and everything was fine. However, my younger sister took Mr. Pickles out of his cage and left him on the ground while I was vacuuming. I have a hard time seeing small objects since I have bad eyesight, so I vacuumed the whole living room until I got something stuck in it. I checked the vacuum and found now the almost half-dead hamster. I panicked and took him out and tried to make sure Mr. Pickles was alright. He was, so I took him back to his cage and went to rest. Only a few hours later, I heard my sister shouting at me that Mr. Pickles was unresponsive. I got up from the couch and checked up on him. He was limp and unresponsive, so of course I panicked. I quickly called Michaela and told her Mr. Pickles had died, though I didn't tell her any of the things he endured, like when I vacuumed him. So Michaela was sobbing since Mr. Pickles was her first ever pet. I still don't know what to do since I can't bring myself to tell her I was the cause of Mr. Pickles' death. That is so sad. What a way to end the note. And with that, like, comment, and subscribe. Go check out some of my other videos. But until then, stay